Hi y'all, welcome back to Regina's Crafting and More, aka Carry On the Stitching on Etsy and Facebook. I'm getting back into the swing of things. I had my surgery 2 weeks ago and I'm home and I can bend my legs, so I'm getting under my machine, and this is going to be the second thing I've stitched today. And I think it'll probably be my last thing for today. This is on a Christmas ornament, freestanding lace, ornament and earrings. I'm just going to stitch the ornament because the earrings are exactly the same. They're just a smaller version. And I have some that I've already stitched out. So hang on, let me turn the machine around. Not the machine, the camera. All right, so this is what we're going to be stitching. That looks orange. It's red. I'm telling you, it's red. Okay, so I have my 2 layers of wash away stabilizer. I'm using the shelf liner method, which helps keep your stabilizer from doing any shifting. And I've tightened it just enough, but you don't want to go too far. I'm using a 7511 needle, and I have the same color bobbin, the same thread in the bobbin that I'm using at the top. I wound the bobbin from my top thread. All right, so once again, this is red. It's not orange. That looks orange here. And this is the first element right here, is the bottom of the Christmas ornament. Like I said, I have red in. Now, I'm not going to have you watch this whole thing, so this is going to be a pretty short video. Just more or less a reminder of using the 2 layers of wash away stabilizer, 7511 needle, and either the T-pin or the shelf liner method. And I have videos on each of those on my YouTube site, Regina's Crafting and More. Alright, so it lays down some base stitches. And once again, this is the ornament slash pendant slash, oh my, it's been a month since I've had to go through this. It's ornament, pendant, and something else, and I don't remember what it is. Anyhow, so this takes, for the ornament, pendant, something else. Oh my gosh. It takes 18 minutes. And I'll have a color sheet, even though really a color sheet is not needed. Alright, so it's going to go through and stitch another layer, and then it'll come back and do another layer, and I will be back when it's more along the way. Okay, it's ornament, gift tag, slash pendant. So that's the 3 you could use this for. If you were going to give it to a little child to wear around their neck, you could just slide a ribbon through the loop. Just put this on a package for decoration or hang it on the tree. Now, the earrings make great miniature ornaments. I did a lot of the snow ladies and snowmen and the snowflakes, and I forget what all's on there. I did those last year and put them on our smaller tree that we have, in addition to some other things, and they were so cute on the Christmas tree. Alright, so this is on its last pass on the bottom part of the Christmas ornament. And we'll be ready to move on to the green stripes in just a little bit. The bottom part of the ornament is finished, so we want to take it off and turn it over and trim the thread tails that are just right here. Right, I trimmed my bobbin threads from right there. I've changed my bobbin to a green, and I'm putting my hoop back on. changed my top thread to green, and we're going to do the stripes. Alright, so this is what the next step looks like. Just 3 little stripes that's going to go onto the ornaments. Now these are the earrings. This is the small pair, and this is the larger pair, because I'm trying to start doing them in smaller and a regular size. Alright, so now if you get a tail at the beginning of your stitching, like I did, make sure you stop the machine and cut that. So see this tail that didn't get pulled down? I'm cutting that off. You want to make sure you keep your top neat by trimming your threads when you're doing freestanding lace. Now these earrings and ornaments / gift tag / pendant. Boy, that looks orange, but it isn't orange. It is a different color from these earrings, but it isn't orange. So once again, you're using the bobbin that you have in the top. You've wound a bobbin with the top thread, and you're using that to do your embroidery of this ornament. And this is pretty quick. So we're on 11 minutes stitch time out of 18. So we're getting close. And some of you may have been wondering, well, why does she stitch this red and not stitch the satin stitch? It's because I want that satin stitch to cover up these edges of the green stripes. Alright, so now I need to put the red back on. Alright, so now we're going to do the satin stitching. And see that thread that's standing up back there? I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to stop this before it goes any further and trim this thread. We don't want that getting caught up and being hard to trim when the ornament is finished. So I usually put my camera on a tripod, but when my battery's almost dead, I can't use my charging cable and put it on the tripod at the same time. That really bites. So I'm having trouble keeping it focused. I will be back. Alright, so the satin stitching is finished, and I'm trimming this thread. I don't want any of that sticking up when I go to stitch the top. I know, Dexter. Alright, so I've changed my bobbin to the silver, which is going to be for the cap of the ornament. Now, just a word of caution. If you're using Coats thread, you might want to put it here instead of up on your thread rack. I've had better luck putting my Coats thread horizontally than up in the thread rack. Alright, so let me put the hoop on. Alright, so now we're stitching the cap. And I've changed the loop to a different color silver in case you want to stitch that loop in red or green or purple or whatever. But it gives you a color stop so that you don't have to rush to stop the machine in case you're at your computer or something. I know, Dexter. He's trying to tell me it's lunch. I will be back. Alright, it's stitched the cap for the ornament, and now it's going back and going to do the satin stitching around the ornament, and then it'll be time to do the loop, and the ornament will be finished. Now, if you want to leave off the green stripes and put like maybe a kid's name on the ornament with the 2023 on it, feel free to insert that in there, and just don't stitch the stripes. Alright, so we're just about done. So I'm going to trim the thread on the back of that cap. Alright, this is the back. As you see, I don't have any threads. There's a little pokey out right there that I'll have to wait until I wash it, try to get it off. And now the loop was getting ready to go on the cap. And I'm just going to leave the same color that I had to stitch this cap and stitch the loop. You can make it red if you want, or green, or whatever color you want to stitch it. And remember, the earrings stitch the exact same way. And we are finished. We just have to cut it out, close to the edges. So you want to cut it out close to the edge. Make sure you don't cut any threads, and then take it and put it in a little bowl of really hot water, and just wait until you only want it to be in there until the water soluble around the edges disappears. And then you want to take it out and pat it dry, etc., etc., etc. So this is what it looks like when I trim it out from the stabilizer. And I'm just going to go run it in hot water and pat it dry, and probably press it several times to try to dry it, and we'll be done. So remember, this is the set. Let me get these organized. Okay, this is the ornament, the smaller earrings, and the larger earrings. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. Bye. Alright, so I am retesting a couple of revisions I've done on the freestanding lace Christmas ornament design. It's earrings. This one that's stitching is the smaller version, about 1.50 inches. The other one is about 1.7072 inches. It'll stitch on the bottom. So I have both sets, the large and the smaller, in the hoop, and it's going to take 21 minutes to stitch both of these. So it's pretty quick stitching. And once again, I've started including a smaller version of the earrings. So you'll get both sizes in the file. And I'll be back. Alright, so color stop 1's finished. It's gone to green for the little decorations in the... Whoops, hang on. Alright, if your machine does not suck your top thread back down, stop and cut it. You don't want it stitching with it hanging on top. Alright, so this is doing the little decorations on the ornament. So it'll do all this one and jump over and do this one. And you should only have to cut the beginning and the ending of this stitch end, after it stitches that third line on the ornament. So remember, trim your threads as you go. Don't wait to the end, because then you'll have a big mess to trim. And the way that these are designed is, you know, it'll cover the ends of some of these lines with the satin stitching that goes around the outside. All right, I've trimmed the tails on the back, changed my bobbin thread to my top thread. I actually did a little bit of cleaning in my bobbin case. So let's do the satin stitching around the ornament, the base of the ornament. So I had a couple little loops in here. I think it was because I had some thread and some little dust balls down in my bobbin case. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so the next color is for the tops of the ornament. I've trimmed my tails on the back from the previous thread, which was red, finishing around the ornament, and now we're going to stitch the top. I have silver in my bobbin and silver in the top. Once again, I've left the loop to last that you put your hardware in, and I put it in a gray. Oh, excuse me. And I apologize for the camera moving. I'm holding it. And I always leave the loop with a little different color, so you can choose what color you want that loop, and you don't have to worry about sitting here and stopping the machine. Alright, so I'll be back when the other one finishes. Alright, so when you finish this top, make sure you stop and cut these little threads before you do the loop, so that they don't get caught up. You can see one here and one here. Trim that. And trim that. Alright, so I've trimmed those tails, and I'm going to use the same color that I used for this top. I'm not going to change colors, even though it's a separate color stop. And that way you don't have to worry about your loop having some stray threads in it. I made that mistake with the soccer balls. Alright, so these are the small ornaments. There we go. The small ornament earrings, sorry. Now they are vertically and horizontally straight. The tops, the bottoms, everything is straight. So in this file, you're going to get the small and the large earrings. You'll also get a file that just has the small, one that just has the large, and one that has two smalls and two large separately.